Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to oppose House Concurrent Resolution 1 and to support Governor Whitmer's Clean Water Executive Order. In general, I just want to take a moment to say that I'm really excited that we've got a governor who's serious about protecting the Great Lakes, our drinking water, and Michigan's amazing natural resources. Our state constitution sets this out as one of our most fundamental responsibilities. Our state government needs to protect our natural resources for the people today and for future generations. And it's been my observation since coming to this Capitol in 2011, and from watching the process as a young man even before I got to the Capitol, that this Michigan legislature, for many years before any of us got here, has been falling down on its duties to protect our Great Lakes and to stand up for clean water. That's why we have a situation in the state right now where hundreds, really thousands of our citizens are drinking polluted water. Citizens in my district are drinking water polluted with PFAS, and because of the inaction of this legislature, we don't even have a cleanup standard for those chemicals. And this is just one example. This is true of the people in Rockford, of the people in Oscoda, of the people in Parchment, people up in Traverse City. We've got people all over our state who are drinking dirty water, kids who are drinking dirty water. Well, this legislature debates a bill to oppose, or a resolution to oppose the governor's efforts to protect clean water. We heard a lot in committee about the problems at the DEQ, and I'll be the first to admit there are problems in any big department, and it's important that we and the executive office try to get those problems sorted out. And we heard time and time again of these stories of, it was positioned to the committee as standing up for the little guy, and in this case, the little guy was someone who was trying to build a snowmobiling shed or someone who was trying to build a logging road. And I don't deny that there are those anecdotes. But when you look at the permitting processes of the DEQ, over 99% of the permits that are applied for are granted. And most of the action over at DEQ isn't about snowmobiling, sheds, and logging roads. Mostly it's about industrial pollution. Big companies that are putting toxic, cancer-causing chemicals into our air and water, chemicals that we and our children then take into our bodies. So those are the little guys that I'm standing up for. Those are the little guys I'm thinking about, are the people here in our state, all over Michigan, who have to deal with the outcomes here in Lansing. And I think that those little guys, those young people, they're counting on us. The people of Michigan are counting on us to follow through on our constitutional obligations to protect the natural resources for people now and in the future. But they're not the only ones that are counting on us. I'm sure all of us, maybe some of us more than others, have heard from another group that's counting on the action of the legislature today. And that's the polluters. The polluters are counting on us. And that's why we're here. Powerful special interests last year passed legislation to create polluter panels. We've got an environmental rules committee and an environmental permitting committee that has the power to veto regulatory actions to protect clean water. They've got that power to veto actions that our professional scientists and our governor's appointee has taken to discharge her responsibilities under the law and under our Constitution. And I think that's fundamentally wrong. I think it's a conflict of interest. I think that if we were talking about reinstituting real citizen oversight panels like we used to have with the Natural Resources Commission before former Governor Engler destroyed that kind of citizen accountability, if we were talking about that, I think you'd find a lot of agreement on this side of the aisle. I'll speak for myself. I agree with that. I've been fighting for citizen review committees for the DEQ for a long time. But that's not what we're talking about here today. We're talking about polluter panels, panels that are loaded with people who are regulated industries, people who are polluters seeking permits to pollute, who now are going to have a veto power over the professional staff and the governor who is accountable to the people of Michigan. So, that's what we're really debating here is I've just been informed that I need to inform you this is my no vote explanation, or else you might cut me short, which might be deserved given how I've gone on.
So noted, Senator.
Thank you. Well, let me just wrap this up. These polluters are counting on us, and what they're counting on is they're counting on us to support their continued success in delaying our responsibilities to protect our environment. They've been incredibly successful. The DEQ has been slow to adopt new rules. We've got chemicals that are in our environment now that we know are causing our people's cancer, and we know they're causing people other health problems, and the DEQ is unable to act because this legislature has been so beholden to those same polluters who are now trying to put in charge of the process. I think that's wrong. I think it's a conflict of interest, and I, for one, stand in support of the governor's action to support clean water and oppose this resolution. Thank you. And I'd like to have my comments printed in the journal.